Okay, so I'm Hatch, I guess you can also call me Natalie Hatch. I am an incoming freshman at the University of Utah, um, probably studying political science, but I'm not sure. I care a lot about politics, obviously, otherwise, I wouldn't be doing a politics podcast. Um, my outlook on politics has a lot to do with imagination and being able to figure out newer ways to like liberate, I guess, an individual, because we've constantly been evolving ways to make life better for people, and I feel like we're kind of stuck, and a lot of people think that there's nowhere else to go from here, and that like capitalism is the end point. And I think there are ways, like I don't have a concrete way, right? Like I'm young, I'm open to ideas. But I think there are ways that we can move beyond this that also continue liberating people more than the way we started. Um, so I guess that's my outlook on politics and what I'm doing now.
Oh yeah, and so when it comes to like political spectrum, where do you think you fall?
I think I'm pretty left. I'm definitely not a revolutionary. I don't think revolution per se is the way to go. I think my endpoint probably would be some form of a communist society, but I don't think that will happen for like hundreds of years. So the way that I see it, especially as someone who wants to go into government, is that I want to enable a future revolution as well as possible, and in the meantime make life as good for people as I can without like causing a complete upheaval of the current system, I guess.
Okay. So would you say would you call yourself a Democrat or not?
Um, I mean, I would, if I were to run today, I would run as a Democrat because that's kind of your only choice. I think that the Democratic Party can be, um, reformed, reshapen in a way that's a little bit more progressive, even though I don't like it that much. But I guess, yes, like the majority of the votes that I cast and will cast will probably be for Democrats. And if I were to run right now, I would be a Democrat.
Okay. And so how do you feel about living in Utah? Obviously very Republican centric.
It's fun. It's interesting. I think it's kind of helped me be better at arguing for leftism and socialism without it
Yeah.
being like super scary. Um, but like if I ever run for office, I don't think it would ever be here unless it was something super local, because I just don't think I could I could make it unless something crazy happens, right? So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there are some Democrats that have office here in Utah, just
Yeah.
not very many.
Like our comrade Ben McAdams.
Yes. But yeah. Okay, cool. Well, yeah. All right. So my name is Chavez Carlos, as you can see on my screen anyway. So might as well say it. Um, and I'm originally from El Salvador, so I came over to the U.S. when I was 11. I grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, which is pretty liberal. But California is weird because they so the broad strokes is that it's socially liberal but fiscally conservative. So like they don't like to raise taxes. Property taxes is terrible and stuff. That's why schools do so. They don't have any money, stuff like that. There's a lot of rich areas, obviously, and a lot of foreign investment, and Silicon Valley's there. So a lot of tech, some of the crazy tech people, which I'm sure we're going to talk about sometimes. But
Oh yeah.
so but I am religious as well, so I am Christian, and I do that is a big part of my beliefs in terms of how I live my life or what I think about politics. Although my journey through politics has been I wouldn't say strange, but I started out very conservative in the sense that I thought that I needed to align with those ideas early in my life, being religious and all. Now my parents, they didn't push anything on me. As immigrants themselves, they didn't really have any political opinions about anything, and we couldn't vote anyway, so there was really no reason to get involved other than, just whatever. But I eventually, I want to say I shifted, but to be honest, even in high school, I was very interested in things like communism and socialism. And I remember I had like a USSR flag hanging in my room, just randomly. And my brother-in-law gave me crap about that because communism doesn't work, Anyway. But I was like, I don't care. It was just a cool flag. I just like the red.
Yeah, you like that.
So anyway, but like for example, in the 2008 elections, I wanted McCain to win, and obviously I didn't know anything back then. And so nowadays, I've definitely shifted very much left. I do feel like I'm more of I guess if I had to label myself, it'd be like a Christian socialist. I do think I base most of my ideas on um, just Christ's teachings in terms of helping the poor and being, loving everyone, being good to everyone. So I mean, I still can't vote. I'm still not a citizen. I'm in the process of becoming one, but it takes a really long time and a lot of money. So it's definitely a very terrible system.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, I just do it, and there's nothing I can do about that. But I have a lot of opinions, of course, and someday I'll be able to vote. So I don't think that it's necessarily, and politics, obviously it's one spectrum of society. So there's different ways to help society other than voting. I mean, voting is very important, but you can also you can be involved in political campaigns as it is, and also any organization that might be trying to help out. So yeah, I'm definitely very left. I'm for transitioning into capitalism. I don't think that it's a good idea. So, simply put. And then also, I'm definitely for, the government being able to help people that need it for sure. For privatizing a lot of things, definitely Medicare for all, things like that. I was definitely a very enthusiastic about Bernie Sanders, and I'm definitely very sad that it didn't happen. And I'm sure I'll share more thoughts on that. But yeah, so I mean, overall, that's my story. So a little bit, I like living in Utah. I do think that I wish it wasn't as Republican-y, but I do think that in terms of the Republican spectrum, they tend to be a little bit nicer.
Yeah. They're more passive aggressive if they're going to be really bad to you, and if they're not going to be bad to you, like, yeah, it's not as openly hostile. I don't
exactly.
think.
So I think it's a little bit less outward racism. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you always have systemic racism, so
Right.
that's going to be there. But I mean, I think most of them are genuinely trying to be good people, and unfortunately, they're kind of caught in the system, or either born in it, or indoctrinated in it, and it's just it's just what they think. And so I'm definitely not here to I mean, here's the thing. I will make fun of maybe some things, but I'm here mainly to try and give a little bit of perspective from not a religious side, but more of I don't know, like an independent side, I guess I would say.
That's fair.
So I mean, to be honest, if I could vote, I don't think I'd be registered as a Democrat. I think I'd be independent. I believe so. But I don't. Obviously, I can't. There's really no point in me thinking about it. It's going to be at least 5 years until it happens. So I mean, but when it comes to just what would I be affiliated with, but I probably would donate to Democrats.
Right.